All right, welcome guys. Welcome future selves. Fellow Ninja Russ and Jory here. Welcome to the I guess the announcements. The greatest timeline to ever exist. It's about to occur before your hands, and I'm like I mentioned, I'm just spitballing here. I don't have anything planned outside of my notes. You guys see the notes here, but yeah, basically, uh, let's just say, I've been, cooking stuff, as in not really. I was kind of like trying to figure out my whole, life situations and stuff. And, I thought it's good as time as any to, I guess kind of a review, the previous year. I've been feeling kind of, how would you say, lost, I guess, in terms of, stuff in general. Trying to figure out really, for one, stuff with like finishing right out of college. I wanted to get like some computer science job or something like that. I quickly realized, yeah, it wasn't that simple, and yeah, I think I don't know. I felt like I had like a little bit of my subconscious kind of holding me back in a sense. I'm not entirely sure, but something kind of pulled me towards just not really committing too much in that regard. Yeah, so I mentioned like the past year I've just been kind of figuring out stuff. Like I mentioned with the jobs situation. At this point, I'm still working kind of the same job. Doing a little bit of the clickety clack. If you guys were here for any of like my previous streams, the very rare, occasional Ninja Rust streams, you would have noticed that I was trying to do stuff with a little bit of I guess questionable things in terms of trying to get a job. It was sort of like a tutor type of thing, like a mentorship type of deal, and then they kind of said, "Oh, we'll try to look for what is it? Look for jobs for you in the area or something like that." But yeah, basically, I realized they weren't really doing that shit, and then I kind of how'd you say it, drew the line once they asked me to what is it, kind of do the marketing myself, and I was like, then why am I here still? So yeah, I kind of ditched that. I don't know if that would be considered an opportunity, but yeah. In terms of job prospects, I haven't been doing too much on that lately. That wasn't necessarily my focus for the most part, but that was kind of like a core thing that was kind of lingering in the back of my mind for the past year. What else? Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier and alluded to, I did start streaming. And for the most part, I actually really, I'm surprised. I actually really enjoy streaming. You know, I may be a little awkward at times, with my, lots of filler words and all that jazz. And, obviously sometimes I'll just feel like I'm doing some cringe stuff or doing like absolutely nothing. But for the most part, I actually really do enjoy kind of getting used to this, you know, strat of, keeping everything live. And I will allude to that later on in this, I guess, TED Talk. Like I said, is this kind of a message to myself, to everyone, to all the uh, future me's that will eventually watch this video again. But yeah, like for the most part, I've just been kind of like lost. I started streaming. It was pretty cool. I'm still probably gonna do it. I actually really enjoy it. But the thing that was lacking was the YouTube's actually working on content. And guys know me. If you've encountered me for a little bit of period of time, you'll know that I enjoy making up a plan and then just not really sticking to it after a couple weeks or months. So yeah, the YouTube didn't really pan out well, and that's mainly because a couple of things. For one, I mentioned before the whole job stuff that I was a little bit worried about in the back of my head. Yeah, that was kind of like tugging at it, and then it's really tough to get the consistency going. Even though I kind of know kind of the whole lingo, to be honest. Not to be a little arrogant or anything, but you know, I watch some Devin Nash. You know, I watch some YouTube content making, and you know, follow stuff. But yeah, no, for the most part, all that is kind of pointless if I don't execute or apply what I've learned over the uh, years. So it'll be a common thread, I feel, of me just contradicting myself in terms of actual execution of things. So yeah, if there's one thing I did a lot of this year, as for other years, I have consumed a lot of good shit, and I'm pretty glad on that. But also, it's I would say that I might have done it to an excessive extent too, where I kind of just neglect stuff in my life. So yeah. Anyways, the other point I wanted to make was that I did actually attend more things than the previous years, or in terms of like social gatherings. And you know, it made me realize like that I definitely do need to go outside more. I actually do enjoy interacting with people. It's just yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little bit more introvert or something, but they drain. I think they just people describe as you get drained socially or something. You know, like get your batteries drained or whatever. That's kind of me. Uh, and I have no problem running my mouth and just going on fun tangents and all that. Common trends I've kind of noticed from the past year um, are just kind of like a lot of my shortcomings for the most part. Probably the biggest thing I feel could be just I guess the idea of being I guess secure to the bare minimum. I'm not sure how to describe it, but I guess the best way to put it hmm, would be like, you know, just getting like a C on a test, you know, um, and just getting away with that. And I kind of applied that concept to pretty much everything in my life, which is not good for a lot of things. So that's like a common thread I've noticed. Um, the another issue that I have is kind of this idea of commitment, or not per se commitment, but like conviction. I think that's a better word. In that maybe I just don't know what I want. And that was the thing that I was struggling with for like the past year. Because if you guys didn't know, I did do a little bit of programming. And originally, I did the programming to make video games. Say if you take a look at my like Roblox account, I made like a a fun Japanese roleplay group and all that. And you know, those were some enjoyable years. But the thing was, I didn't really successfully like you know pan it all out in a sense. I didn't really you know make what I wanted, which was you know like a really nice fun game, and that's evolved over time for the most part, and it kind of carried over to university a little bit, trying to make a well I think what was it like a World Trigger game I believe it was. It's been a while now. You know, F's in the chat if or in the comments, I guess, if you guys know what Project Horizon was. But yeah, for the most part, I think my lack of conviction or something was kind of like a key factor in that. Obviously, consistency is also a big point of it, but I felt that um, even though I had some sort of passion, I didn't have that thing to push me over the edge, and I'm not entirely sure what it was. And like I mentioned before, it's something like resolve, conviction, something around those lines, and I'm not entirely sure best solution for it. But I think I've gotten kind of a gist, and that's kind of the strat with the stream is that I kind of figured how I kind of want to do things. But this is kind of a way for me to hold myself accountable. I think that's the main thing, and also I guess spread it out there. If this doesn't pan out or whatever, if in the next year everything just goes completely wrong, I think at least at the very least I'll have this as a capsule, as well as I guess a good record of what my I guess what I've learned over the past year. Just to like quickly run through, yeah, I streamed a little, somewhat pretty consistently. It's just I wasn't streaming on my channel. I was actually streaming with my friend Paul on the I guess in the now Weeb Closet, and that has been a wild ride for the most part. And we're still we're cooking stuff now, and everything's going a little really wild. When I first started the my first video in last year, I just didn't really know what I wanted. I had semblances of what I wanted, but I just didn't have like a good, solid, just one in, one all goal. I mean, YouTube, is a iterative platform, if you will, of trying to test out the waters and everything. But I think I work better if I just have like a singular kind of overall broad scope of things I just need to get like shove into my head, get into my subconscious. I think that's like the main thing I just wanted to note from what I've noticed from the past year. But yeah, as I was saying with my like biggest problems, it's probably that I'm just not consistent. You know, I am a little bit lazy, but I still get stuff done somewhat. At least the bare minimum. The main issue would be that I mentioned before. I just have I can plan well, but then I just don't execute that plan. It's like Mega Man Battle Network where you have your chipset, you log that in, and then it jams or something, and you just don't activate your actions. So that's like one of my biggest problems. Another thing that I guess is more of a symptom is that I just haven't been taking care of myself in general, and like things around me, like my room. My room's kind of a mess. The issue is, I'll be honest, I don't see it as a mess. Like, I'm not sure if that's just me being super, super, I guess, how it's not minimalistic, but doing the bare minimum, that I just kind of accept, my room being this way. But yeah, I think my issue is that I just don't recognize these things as a problem, I guess, until it becomes one. And I need to change that. That's another like it's a big thing that it's a symptom, like I mentioned. I feel like it's a symptom of my other issues for the most part. The another issue I have is just I keep at this point it's my character trait, and it shouldn't be, is the my tendency to just overthink. I think initially I thought of it as kind of like a joke somewhat. It's like half truth. I did kind of overthink back then, but not to the extent I'm doing now. The stuff I'm doing now, it's kind of held me back in some ways, and I think me thinking that it's overthinking is in itself overthinking, because I realize what kind of the overarching issue is, and that is just, I guess, fear, maybe. I'm not sure entirely what. It's probably a failure combination of that, and I'm not sure. But I think the main thing is that idea or whatever, that there's some conscious thought in my mind that I don't really actively think about, but I'll notice that I'll just not do certain things because of that. Maybe I'm just how do I like to say, overthink it, but it's kind of like a passive debuff, just clawing away at my my decision making, and I need to work on that. I keep saying I need to work on that. I need to work on all these things. That's the main thing. And then some other things I noticed with my issues would be that I'm just super reactive. I'm not a proactive person. Kind of let things flow. Good in some aspects, but for the most part, if I want to get something done, or trying to attain my goals or dreams, yeah, it's not working out. And then yeah, I mentioned before with the with my issue with kind of resolve or conviction. I think I just kind of lost sight of what I really kind of want to do. I'm not sure. There seems to be a semblance in which I feel I have a general direction of where to go, or like what to do, and then I know it's kind of like a I kind of guess this is kind of where I go, but then I noticed that it it's not so clear that I just to get to that path. And like I mentioned, I have execution problems, so I just lose sight of the dream, I guess, and I think that's like the main thing. And this is a quick, like, I guess, tangent or whatever, but yeah, that might be an inherent part of me or something. In that, as cheesy as the name goes, Ninja Russ. I mean, middle school me got some real good strats in terms of SEO, marketing. Uh, but like to be like a bit more serious on that, I think there's some sort of like I guess connection to kind of maintaining this sense of self or something from my past me's, and I think my username is kind of reflection of that somewhat, in that I don't want to abandon certain principles, I guess, in that regard. Even though that I could easily rebrand if I wanted to. I'm just a literal nobody at the moment on the internet, but I don't know, something in my my subconscious, if you will, kind of makes me stick to it, and I don't know. That was like just a quick tangent, but I don't know. It's something I guess neat about the everything kind of falling into place in that regard. Um, but yeah, as I was saying with the my issues, I think the thing that kind of I guess connects. It doesn't really connect, but it is related to all of the my previous issues I mentioned before. It's just I don't really like keep the habits that I try to fix or remove or whatever. I think it just goes back to the execution issue, and that I will make out a plan and then execute that plan, and then it just deteriorate. Wow, am I having trouble pronouncing deteriorate? Oh my lord. All right, hold on. Define deteriorate. Why am I having trouble? This is a world first. Hold on. Deteriorate. Wha- Why is she saying it like that? Am I losing it? Deteriorate? Bro, that's not how you pronounce it. I don't know what she's saying. Deteriorate. Okay, fuck it. It's stuff has been weakening for the I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm getting stomached by the word deteriorate. I can't even pronounce it anymore. I've been my mind's broken, I guess. But yeah, I guess a better word would be that um I let things just kind of what is it? Let decay rather, and then on top of it, I kind of just end up self sabotaging. I just kind of not really care, I guess. And yeah, I think those overall are my overarching issues. I think the main things I think I need to 100% tackle is just not have to overthink so much. Just be more consistent, or not per se consistent, but I need to be really clear, I guess, with my ideals or like goals, and just always remind myself to keep to it. I think that was the issue I was having, is that like I mentioned earlier, being a little bit lost. It's kind of hard to make sure you're always on the path that you want to go to, Uh, so, yeah. In terms of what I'm gonna do about all this shit now, this is the fun part. I'm writing a book. Okay, there you go. That's that's the main thing. So yeah, I've kind of centered everything, or I kind of pinpointed kind of the kind of the initial desire of what I want, and I think it's something around the lines of telling like a really fun and cool story, I guess. And I've been doing a lot of thinking on why that is. I think earliest traces could be, obviously video games I played back then, like Pokemon, Silver, Mega Man Battle Network, uh, maybe even some mobile games like Infinity Blade. But yeah, I don't know. There's something that makes me like pull towards that. And then I noticed that more when I was thinking about what I did during middle school. And I was like, for some reason, I was like super into or interested in Greek mythology. Like that shit was like the coolest stuff in the world. Even though back then I didn't know any of like the how would you say sus stuff, like all the sick stuff that Zeus does in his stories. But yeah, like the idea of like the mythos in it, obviously like all the Greek god stories, and then also just the main like legendary heroes and warriors. That stuff like really fascinated me back then. I see this more apparent now more than ever because uh, as sad as it to say, I'm a fucking weeb. I'm a weeboo. I watch too much anime at this point that yeah, I'm on that classification. I'm part of the weeb closet. Ninja Russ is 100% certified weeb. Even though I haven't watched Cowboy Bebop or any of like some other classics that feel like a must watch. Uh, but yeah, related to that is the idea of the stuff that I've been watching through anime is a lot of like the really thematic stories. And if you look at my anime list, like kind of the top stuff is the stuff that really has more of a lasting impact in terms of um, just imparting some sort of human drive or emotion uh, into me, and I think that's what really inspired me more. Some like my favorite games of all time, I realized are also made by Japanese studios, and they seem to have a kind of trend of telling like really big, large scale stories, but still adhering to some theming. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's made more apparent, and that like my favorite games are like Persona 4 Golden and like Dark Souls 3. So I noticed all of these trends, and going back to how I was saying that I was working on like making a video game. I think when I was working on like the programming side, I was more invested in sort of the design element, and then more so kind of theming everything um, to some overall idea, right? Uh, I mean, back then with like Roblox, I think my initial thing was like fighting games, like if you know, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 3 by Fryaza. That's the greatest game of all time. Um, but like after that, like initial area of me just having too much only fun. Uh, I mean, I still had fun, but the main thing was that I then tried making the group Fumashi, and I think there was some inherent thing that I really enjoyed about that, but like I mentioned before, the issue was I just didn't commit too hard to that idea. But it was related in that I think Fumishi is something similar to Stream in that I kind of want to tell a story live, and that it's like a growing narrative, I guess. And yeah, like I mentioned, all these just lead to the idea of telling like a great story, and I kind of centered around like, oh, maybe I'll try a visual novel. I realize visual novels are actually kind of time consuming, if you will. Um, and I've centered around that I should just write a book at this point. Try to write a fantasy novel. Uh, And yeah, that's how I came to that conclusion. Issue is I don't know how to fucking write a book. I know English. I guess I got that going for me. I'm kind of well literate, you know, well versed in the arts of wordplay, maybe. Uh, but I don't know how I'm gonna go about this. I'm watching all the Brandon Sanderson and all like novel tips, book tips on YouTube. I don't know how I'm gonna go about this. I'll figure it out. That's the play. Uh, but yeah, this is going to be like my true attempt to actually try to write a novel. I think this idea kind of came to me probably like during March earlier this year, maybe. I think that's probably it. Um, Maybe even a little bit earlier, but yeah, I don't know. Something's intimidating when you know that you're gonna have to write words on a paper and try to make them cohesive. And you know, to be honest with you guys, I don't even read books. I don't even read books. I read manga. I watch anime. Does that count? I guess I've accumulated I guess a wide variety of stories in my mind. You know, kind of uh figured what stuff I kind of like and what doesn't really work. I feel, and I think that will come into play trying to write this book or whatever. And yeah, so what I'm gonna do, I'm going to be streaming this whole journey. In that, insofar as I'll probably stream like once a week. Uh, future Ninja Rush, you better fucking do it. All right, you better actually do it because God, I said this last time in my my initial stream as well. Oh, I'm gonna go do 2 videos 2 weeks, guys. I'm gonna do it now. This is my my promise, my you know, my character arc. This is the novel arc. And you know, this is gonna be my true attempt at it. And we'll see how it pans out. You know, like I said, it's gonna be, it is what it is. Whatever happens in a year from now, but main thing is I need to do and actually try and not get distracted by random bullshit and actually do what I say I'm gonna do. I think that's like the main point. And you know, I don't technically need this like notes to just say that. I just gotta do what I gotta do. 1 year from now, gotta get it written. You know, it may not be best or good, or it could be dog shit for all I know. As long as I get it there on the paper and it seems something I can at least somewhat accept, you know. I'm not sure how, whatever, maybe I'll get like lost or whatever, but I gotta get it on paper to get something out. This is my, like I said, my promise to everyone, as well as to all my future me's, you know, like they better listen, you know. Past Ninja, he's a little bit of bozo, but he's got a point, and I do too. And then, like I said, I trust you guys. I trust all the other Ninja Russies out there to actually commit and make it a reality. You know, or if not, you don't deserve the title of Ninja Russell. You just don't. So, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm talking to myself at this point with the schizo shit, but yeah, the main thing is get it done. However, novel 1 year. There you go. Maybe not exactly 1 year, but yes, basically a year. And I'm already backpedaling, I guess. Whatever. In terms of other things, other goals, I am still. I think I watched through my old vid. You know, that initial what am I streaming type of thing. I still agree with all the points I made back then. I think I'm pivoting a little, but for the most part, you know, still gonna do YouTube. You know, there's something about YouTube. Maybe I've been brainwashed or something. All the YouTubers I watch, but now I just want to make something. You know, some channel, but you know, I don't even know what it is. But you know, maybe this writing thing will pan out. Who knows? But Yeah, I'm still gonna do YouTube. This time, start fresh. Stop overthinking. I don't need no fancy editing, no fancy content, fancy smancy, whatever. I just need to get it done. Consistent, I guess, but mainly like I actually need to really have fun with it. I think that's the main thing. In terms of other things, I mentioned probably in my previous streams or whatever that I want to be more social, and I did get a semblance of that, a bit from like Fanime and some other social gatherings I've attended. But I need to do more. I need to be out there making the events. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to go about it. Like a little insider knowledge here. I tried going to the local Barnes and Noble and was going to go to manga club. I didn't end up going. I just sat there reading some manga and left. I ditched. I was like, I don't want to interact with these randoms, bro. So yeah, I need to be more outgoing. I think that's probably the another like benefit to YouTube is I feel that it probably will eventually lead me to try to be more outgoing, try to actually collaborate with other people or whatnot and talk to, and, I still will have the streams, like I said, probably stream once a week, who knows? But, I get to interact with other people, so that's pretty cool. I did write some specifics here, write a novel in 1 year, and then I went hog crazy with the Gurren Lagann goals, 10K sub, 24 videos, get that done in 1 year. We'll see. It doesn't really matter. The only key thing is I'm getting this out here and trust my future selves to figure it out, That's like the main thing. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Like that's my message. My final message to every single Ninja Rust multiverse version of me out there, just have fun with it, really. That's the main thing. Just have fun with it, but also like just keep true to yourself and get it done. Make the dreams come true. What better way to celebrate everything with my man Walpole? He achieved everything he wanted in his life. He's got the money. He's got like Miss Universe or something in his pocket. Now I just gotta be King Walpole. That's the moral of the stream. I baited you all. This is actually a One Piece advertisement, guys. Go read One Piece. You haven't read One Piece? What are you doing? So yeah, that's pretty much it. And we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'm writing a book. Yes, sir. Easy money. Okay.